Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Pro League action. Puckett and Methods just cast Epsilon versus Optic Gaming. That one pretty one-sided. Optic beating up on little brother Epsilon, but now we're going to see the two juggernauts go toe-to-toe. Elevate holds the #1 seed so far in the Pro League from regular season, but Optic Gaming and FaZe have been widely considered the two best teams in the game. Most recently, FaZe has beaten them at the two recent LAN events. So this is going to be an ongoing rivalry that a lot of people are looking forward to, not only at UMG this weekend, but most importantly at the Season 3 Championships. We're going to see that best of 5 right now, Methods, and I got to get your thoughts coming into this matchup.
Well, Optic Gaming currently sitting at 6-0 after that win versus Epsilon, but you also have this powerhouse team of FaZe who pretty much match up so solidly to Optic. Really the only team that I can see that can beat this team at events. And, you have players like Clayster, Attach, Zuma, Enable. They match up so well, these players, because they could all kill and they could all do the dirty work. They could all, clutch. All these players are so, close in skill. So this should be a really good one. But with Optic's recent success, I'm going to say they're going to win 3-1.
3-1 for Optic Gaming. Okay.
I think FaZe is going to take the first hard point.
We're going to have to see how this plays out. Now, FaZe did lose to Elevate last time we watched them. That went to Game 5. We saw some excellent S&D play out of people like Slacked throughout that series. I really think it's going to come down to these search and destroys. But we're ready to kick things off. Let's go to Hardpoint. The map is Detroit for game #1, and it kicks off in 3, 2, 1. So here we go, move on Detroit. Hardpoint, of course. Everyone's going to be fighting for the Center Atlas building, but talk to me a little bit about the matchups you're looking forward to throughout this. Which players will be going up against each other in the same class?
I think we're definitely going to see Clayster versus Formal a lot here. You're going to see Formal, on that top pit wall, on top of the Atlas, using that assault rifle. But it seems that Formal actually brought out the sub here for this first hill. So aggressive approach for Optic. Really said, you know what, let's put away the valves, let's hit him quick.
Karma doing a nice job, almost finished the 3-piece. Clayster inside will take him down with an ASM-1 of his own. So Clay gonna meet fire with fire of his own. No battles needed for hill #1. And it is all blue in the kill feed aside from that kill on Scump from Attach. Karma answers back immediately, and Crimsic should have a free 10 seconds. He's gonna pick up the first few and then feels pressure coming from the garage. Optic just trying to bait out their opponents at the moment.
Yeah, Krim really just holding this hill right now, enabled a nice 2-piece, and Optic really just played that hill, pretty well. I mean, they just said, you know what, let's make an aggressive push. No one plays slow at ARs, let's all hit this hill, and they have a few-point lead going in this next one. So Enable already at this back train, gonna pick up Scump. So FaZe looking pretty solid right now because of Enable. He was able to hold that back green area, but Optic just able to take them all out.
Clayster, long-range AR, not going to be able to pick up that one. Crimsic still sitting inside hill #2. The scoreboard starting to lean heavily in favor of Optic Gaming. 26 to just 10 points for FaZe. And you look over at FaZe, and I think the big shocker right away is Zuma. 1 and 5 has not been able to heat up yet. He is definitely one of their key players, if not the key player on this FaZe lineup. Look for him to turn things around here in the next minute or so.
Yeah, Zuma's that submachine, player who's so versatile. He can get in those hills, get those 2 to 3 pieces, and you definitely want to see him doing a little bit better on the scoreboard, just because you're so used to seeing him, on that kill feed, getting all those kills, and right now, just really can't seem to get much going.
He did just string together 3 in a row. Clayster's going to take over Attach's position inside of green, but only 2 points remain, and you look at that scoreboard, it was about 20 points in favor of Optic Gaming. Now, it's basically even. Optic holds on to the garage, though, and Clayster knows how important it is to win the fight out back against Formal. Karma inside the hill is going to be waiting for challengers up on the ramp. Checks down the stairs, no one there. And you can see how fast Karma is not only playing, but thinking. He checked every single entrance as the lone man inside the hill, relaying that information to his team. Scump should be able to take over his position pretty easily here, despite Attach's 3-piece.
Yeah, so the problem here with Optic is they had garage control, but they never really had spawn control. They were always fighting from in the garage. So, after a few pushes, FaZe was able to clear him out. And now FaZe needs to get control of this back area again, because looking at our screen right now, because of our COD vision, we can see all these Optic players here fighting from this ramp area. And FaZe needs to start getting some kills here.
Enable with one inside is going to win the fight for the final 6 seconds. Everyone else rotating over to yellow. Watch your mini-map as Optic sets up. Formal picks up the first kill, but is going to be dropped. And Zuma and Attach trying to cause some chaos. Enable's going to rotate on the far flank while his teammates hit the front. And this is a perfect pinch. You see Enable cleans up the 4th member. Optic, though, still getting some favorable spawns over at green. Should be able to keep some pressure on.
Yeah, Clayster doing his job here with this assault rifle, really just watching over his teammates. And we see Zuma starting to come to life here, 12 and 10. We currently saw him earlier at 1 and 5, so some life out of him. Clayster still doing his AR work in the back. Unfortunate for them, Optic able to break the back, and it's not what you want if you're FaZe right now.
Zuma couldn't clutch up with the 3-piece. He did get 1, though. That's going to make it easier for Attach to break through. Attach trades, but then it's Karma with the 2. Formal also in the kill feed, and Formal picks up a 2nd, looking for a 3rd. His bow is on point, so is Crimshot. The teammates just eyeing down that green entrance. Everyone else rotating to school, though, in the final 5 seconds. It looks like Optic will not be contested. Here's the big fight. Karma has to fight through 3 players to get to that hill, though. Well, there's 2.
Karma unfortunately died from a nade there, but was able to pick up 2. Scump here pushing this pit area, about to fight a few players. But if he gets this kill, we should see him boost in. Pre-fire this back lockers area, he does so. All these Optic players right now are really playing so well with the submachine gun. Scump just hiding behind this wall. He knows he's hurt, really just playing to his advantage. You really don't want to challenge anything while you're injured. And Scump may be able to get a 2-piece going here, but still, FaZe stacked up some points.
So tell me a little bit about Scump. He was able to dominate Epsilon with the SMG. He was plus 10, plus 15 at different times throughout that game. So far in this one, 12 and 15, bottom of the scoreboard for Optic Gaming. Is Detroit just a tougher map for an SMG, or what do you think could be causing him problems?
Honestly, I mean, FaZe is just such a more well-rounded team, I think. I think that FaZe just knows what they're doing together. They're a better orientated team. They just, work together and they mesh together better than Epsilon did. But I think Scump just having a little slow game, happens to the best of us. And I think, they're still in this game, only a 30-point differential. So look to see Scump turn it back up soon.
In that game that Scumpy was dominating, Formal was struggling. It seems those roles have been flipped. Formal plus 5. Clayster, though, on a 9 streak, picking up kills through walls, looking for double digits. There's the assist. Number 10 can't get it. Formal's going to outshoot him there. But a nice run from Clay is going to lead to a 50-point advantage, make it a 40-point advantage for FaZe as they are starting to pull away. Can they keep control of the Atlas, though? They are set up momentarily to break in, but the question is, who's going to rotate to green first? That's where FaZe was able to get their original chunk of time.
Yeah, so just keep your eye on the mini-map right now. We're going to see some rotations here coming in from green. Krim right now calling out to his teammates, guys. I just spawned out. We need green spawns. You see some FaZe players there held up in the back of school, so Optic has some clearing out to do if they want to have spawns going into this green hill. And really, FaZe just playing so well right now.
Big gunfight one there by Zuma, takes out Krim. Scump's going to get meleeed by Clay, so green going to be wiped for a moment, but you actually look inside, and Optic is holding onto that hill. Formal's there, and that red player on the far left of your minimap, it's Zuma who picks up 2. Enable comes in for a 3rd. Optic should be spawning far out. Instead, though, they get the back school spawns. Pretty lucky positioning here, but a nice job by FaZe just to wipe everyone off before they can even get close to green.
Yeah, Enable right now held up with the submachine gun attached, struggling at 17 and 24. But as we said earlier, we mentioned Zuma really not playing too hot, but look at him now, 27 and 21, really just getting into those hills, winning those gunfights, and that's the reason why FaZe is above right now.
Enable leads all players at 29 kills. You just saw a 5 streak out of him. Zuma will fall on mid-street. Optic's going to clean up the final 5 seconds here of this hard point. FaZe on the rotation, though, and this time they have a much better setup for Garage. Last time Optic was here first, and it was FaZe who was able to break through. Can Optic do the same thing? Originally, doesn't look like it. Both players going to be dropped at the bottom half of the map. It'll be up to Scumpy and Crim6 to get through now.
Yeah, so Scump really just can't seem to get much going. 19 and 29 currently he's sitting at. He's getting kills, but really just getting traded with, and Attach really just slaying right here in this garage. And FaZe, I feel like they're just playing so much more, team-based than Optic is. We see Optic getting those 1 and 2 pieces solo, but then you see where, when FaZe is on the kill feed, you see Attach getting a kill, you see Clayster getting a kill, you see Zuma getting a kill.
Right.
So I just feel like FaZe is playing so much more team-based, whereas Optic is playing a little bit more individual.
Is that something you can determine by watching the mini-map, or is it just kind of the kill feed that you're picking that up on?
I was looking more at the kill feed, honestly, but, if you focus on the minimap, you can see where these players are pushing together. Optic playing a little bit more separate, really just trying to go into hills by themselves, not really waiting for each other, and that's why FaZe is just above right now. We just saw Attach enter that room, and he entered with a teammate, so FaZe is not going anywhere solo right now.
I feel like that's the second time we saw the FaZe crash on yellow. Krim, the lone defender inside, didn't really have an opportunity to fight back. Everyone just swarms all at once like you were talking about. Zuma continuing to impress. He's +6, +8 right now is Clayster, though. 9 captures from Attach. He's doing his job of getting inside the hills regardless of the KD. And then Enable. I feel like this is a guy that not a lot of people get enough credit to. They say, he came from Halo. He's not a COD player. He's definitely become one of the best in the game here in Advanced Warfare, and I think that's going to be a mainstay here coming into Black Ops 3.
It seems that all these Halo players really come to Call of Duty, and they're pretty solid. Formal, he came from Halo as well, so nice little Halo matchup we got going on right now. We got Enable versus Formal, and it seems that Enable's winning right now.
Here's Formal looking into school, just going to get melted. Keep in mind, of course, host does have an effect, and FaZe seeming to have that on their side. 38 kills for Papa Zuma. And we will see this one closed out potentially on the school unless Scump can go big. Final 35 seconds. In fact, we are going to go to the end of the time limit. I don't think FaZe is going to be able to hit that 250. But a pretty dominant performance here. Game number 1 from FaZe over Optic Gaming. Attach going to finish near positive with 12 captures. Zuma, big +9. Clayster was slaying so well in the middle of this game. He's going to finish +9 as well. And Enable right behind them at +5.
Yeah, so I definitely see, looking at the scoreboard, what went wrong here for Optic. Looking at the FaZe roster, really all similar in stats with the exception of Attach, and he has 32 kills. So really this whole FaZe lineup really, came together and meshed well as a team. Whereas, we had 2 players from Optic really play out of their socks, and they played really well. But the other 2 really just couldn't pick it up as well as they could. But I called it, Chris. First map.
You did, man. You called FaZe.
But I called the next 3 to be taken by Optic. So let's see if I'm right.
245, 166. All right, FaZe starting things off strong. When we come back, we'll show you the rest of this series. We'll be right back with Optic Gaming versus FaZe.